and welcome to this episode of Cooking with MFRD. I'm your host, Ashley McDonald, and we've got a great show lined up for you today. We have enlisted the help of one of our friends from Human Resources, Karen, and we're going to be making a couple of healthy breakfast recipes for you. First up, we've got breakfast cookies. You're going to need to grab the following ingredients: 1.5 cups of quick cooking oats, 1 cup of whole wheat flour, 1/3 cup of raisins, 1/3 cup of unsalted roasted sunflower seeds, 1/3 cup of unsalted toasted sliced almonds, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, 1 teaspoon of ground cinnamon, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, 2 large eggs beaten, 1/3 cup of canola oil, 1/3 cup of honey, 1/3 cup of brown sugar, and 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. Welcome to the show, Karen. I guess we're gonna make some breakfast cookies.
Yes.
Tell me about where you got this recipe.
I got this recipe from Humana Go 365, which is the wellness program for the city of Murfreesboro.
Okay, great. So we're going to cook up a healthy breakfast recipe for you guys today. We've got our dry ingredients ready to go, measured out. So if you want to start on that end, Karen, and then I'll help you when you come on around.
Okay.
So we've got our oats going in first. Can't have a healthy breakfast cookie without oats. We've got some sunflower seeds. And Karen, I couldn't, on our grocery list, I couldn't find the unsalted sunflower seeds, so we're not going to use that teaspoon of salt that we called for in the recipe. Okay, and I'll pick up the slack now. So we got the cinnamon. I didn't want to come off there. Toasted sliced almonds. Baking soda. And actually, I think this brown sugar goes in our wet ingredient, so we'll keep it over there. So we're gonna whisk this together. So Karen, what do you usually eat for breakfast?
Well, I normally eat yogurt and almonds for breakfast, and then have fruit.
That sounds pretty healthy. Would you like to supplement that with a cookie? I mean, who doesn't want a cookie for breakfast, right?
Well, I have made breakfast cookies before. Not this particular recipe, but there's another recipe that I have, and I actually put dried cranberries and walnuts in it.
And I'm sure you could kind of mix up this ingredient list too. It might do a little tweaking on the nutritional value, but I'm sure you can do something like that. Okay, so we're going to get the wet ingredients together. We've got 2 beaten eggs. Okay. And then go ahead and add that brown sugar, light brown sugar, honey. This is pretty easy because everything usually either measures out to 1/3 cup or a teaspoon, so it works out pretty easy on your measuring. Canola oil, and then a couple of teaspoons of vanilla extract, and that's pure Madagascar vanilla.
Smells good.
It does. So we'll get that mixed up. I usually will have a protein shake or something like that, but I could see myself eating cookies for breakfast. Usually I could see myself eating Oreos for breakfast, but I guess the healthy cookie would be something that's a little bit better for me.
And they usually make a lot, so you can always freeze these.
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
You can freeze them and then pull them out for the next week.
Oh, that's really smart. Another thing I like for breakfast is those healthy egg cups that you can make with the egg and the veggies, and sometimes you can even put meat and cheese in there depending upon what type of program you're on. So,
okay, you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay.
So we're just going to stir this together until all of these dry ingredients are a little bit combined with the wet. And so what we'll do at that point is Karen and I, because you can't bake the cookies all at one time, you have to have 2 separate baking sheets. Karen and I are going to have a contest on who can have the best looking cookies on the cookie sheet before they go in the oven. Our oven is already preheated to 350 degrees. I'm not doing too good at stirring this. So, and another thing, Karen, I read about was that this dough is very sticky. Do you experience that with the ones that you make at home?
I did not.
So what we should do when we're putting these on the cookie sheet is make sure that the pans are lined with either aluminum foil or we have nonstick cooking spray.
Do you want me to help with that?
Come on in here, girl. Jump on in here. I think my arms are too short. I'm going to go with that excuse anyway.
I actually think that's good.
Okay. Okay, Karen, I'm going to go get these cookie sheets.
Okay.
And like I said, I've already lined these with full, which is going to make it easier. Do you mind moving that bowl for me? And we're going to use these 1/4 of a cup measuring cups to get our batter on there. Going to need this to wipe the bottom of it every so often because that is kind of a sticky mess. But I've got my little cup. I've got your spatula.
Okay.
Got my spatula. And we're gonna fill. We'll do one together, and then we'll have our contest. So you stuff it in there. We'll see how well this works. And then you flatten it with the bottom of your measuring cup to about 3 inches in width. And then we want to make these cookies every 2 inches.
They are sticky.
You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. This would be like a neat little contest to have with your kids because you're not really using anything sharp in the kitchen. Or you could just have the kids do it because it would be a fun sticky mess for them to play with.
I guess it's the honey.
Probably, and the brown sugar. But I think it's a really neat recipe, actually, because it feels like you've got, you know, enough substance and protein from the nuts and things in it, but you've got the sweetness of the fruit and the honey. So I think it works out really well.
I think mine are a little bit bigger than yours.
You need more nutrition than I do in the morning. I'm gonna have coffee with mine, so maybe that's why. And probably a donut. No, I'm just kidding. And so when we get these finished, we're only gonna bake 1 sheet at a time, Karen. And we're gonna do it for approximately 12 minutes until the bottom of the cookies burn. I think we don't have enough batter to do anymore, so I think we're good on these.
Okay.
So the bottom of the cookie needs to be browned, and you may have to do it a little longer than 12 minutes, just depending upon what kind of oven you have or how fast it cooks. So we're gonna get these into the oven if you wanna take your tray over.
Okay.
Okay, so while we've got those going, I actually have a surprise for Karen. I know she thinks that I never even saw this recipe before, but I made her a few of those cookies last night so that we could have some for breakfast this morning.
Yeah.
Would you like to try one?
I would.
Okay, let me go grab them. Do you like our fancy fire truck red?
Yeah, those look good.
Tray we have here? Okay, so let's dig in.
They look really good. They're soft.
Chewy, nutty breakfast cookies.
Oh, I think they're good. They're not sweet.
But you get that little hint of cinnamon and honey, and I could see myself eating this with a good cup of coffee or even a glass of fat-free milk. Good pick, Karen. Good pick, Humana.
Because in the mornings, I don't want sweet stuff, so those are good.
And so on the mornings that we wouldn't want to eat something maybe this solid, we just want a little drink on the way to work, we could make a blueberry blast smoothie.
Sounds good.
So I think that's what's up next, Karen. Okay, so Karen, blueberry blast smoothie. Wow, that's a tongue twister. So we've got enough ingredients that we can make Karen and I each one. And first we're gonna start off with some 1% milk. And we're using 1 cup. If you wanna go ahead and put that in the blender. Now blueberries are full of antioxidants. People put them in their oatmeal, their cereal, and different things like that. But some people aren't just really big breakfast eaters. So this is something really quickly that you can do. And this is another recipe from Humana, correct?
It is.
Awesome. So now we've got a cup of non-fat plain yogurt. And then we've got a couple of cups, that's another tongue twister, of frozen blueberries. You like all my tongue twisters, don't you?
I do.
And then we have a couple of teaspoons here of honey. And I'm sure that's to sweeten it up since that's that non-fat yogurt. And if you didn't want to do honey, if you were trying to cut even more calories, you could probably use like a sugar substitute, maybe like stevia or agave nectar or something even like that. Wow, that honey's really hard to get in there.
Yep, and that was easy too.
All right. Everybody hold your ears. Wow, that made a really pretty liquid. Mm-hmm. I can't wait to try this. I love smoothies in the morning, and I actually add like spinach to mine or kale because I don't really like greens, but I can stomach them if they're covered up with fruit and, and other sweet things. Okay. Sorry, I should have poured you one first. I'm so sorry. That was so rude. You are the guest after all. Okay, I'm going to top mine off. And then we'll have a toast.
Oh.
It's only fair. I poured mine first, so you go ahead and take the first sip.
So we're going to have a toast.
Okay, to another great show with the help of Karen from Human Resources on our healthy recipes.
It's actually
pretty good. And it's not too sweet. Got a little bit of tartness from the yogurt and from the blueberries. It's great. Well, thank you for joining us, Karen. We really appreciate your assistance with these recipes and
you're welcome.
with helping us to have another healthy show. And if you would like these recipes from today's show, you can visit www.murfreesborotn.gov/cookingwithmfrd. You can also check out all of our recipes on the city's YouTube channel. Thanks for watching.